Hello, good morning, and welcome to forexforsteadyprofit.com. I use the Commitment of Traders report, which comes out every week on a Friday, and I need to give me an idea of market direction. I analyze the ratios of longs to shorts for the commercials and non-commercials, and I also look at the divergence on the pairs, and it gives me an idea of market direction. We'll just go and have a quick look at the charts. So here we have the Commitment of Traders information in its raw form. You get the non-commercial positions and the commercial positions, long and short, and then you get the change in open interest. And you also get that broken down underneath for longs and shorts for both the commercials and the non-commercials. And we can see this broken down into a graph over a period of time, which also gives us comparatives, which are also very useful to look back on the history. And so we'll go and do that right now. And here we have a graph of the positions over 52 weeks, that's a year, for the commitment of traders of the commercials and non-commercials. And this is for the Australian dollar. This chart is produced by cotbase.com. And you can see here where we got to a low position with the commercials, and we're completely opposite to the speculators, and they've got a long position, so we're short. You can see we had a big drop off in the price of the Australian dollar. Conversely, when we were at a high and very bullish for the commercials, and we were fairly bearish for the non-commercials, that we actually had a hike in the rise of the price of the Australian dollar. This is a very useful tool to be using, and we can show you other ways that we use it and other things that we do with it. So here we have the Australian dollar, US dollar, and we've got the RSI. Now if we put a trend line on the RSI and we wait for it to go above the 69.1 and come back down and cut through it, this gives us a sell signal. Now this obviously would have been a very good sell signal here. We had a sell signal here indicating this big long fall that we've had, and quite recently we've had a rise in the price of the Australian dollar, which is just going through the 50 here, and I'm expecting it to turn back down and cut through the trend line, which will give us another sell signal, because we have an extreme position of short the commercials and long the non-commercials on the Commitment of Traders report, and this should be quite a long sustained downward trend, which is always very profitable. Last bit of information, this is Ludwig's divergence calculator, and it works really well, and this helps us with the crosses. These are the currencies against the US dollar, and here we have the crosses calculated, and it gives us a divergence value between the commercials and the non-commercials, and it shows some of the pairs that are of more interest than others. A very useful tool, only available on the Members Centre, and the pairs that are of most interest we do feature on the video on the Members Centre every day, so you get a daily video on those. Welcome. It's Thursday the 19th of October, and it's just after 10 o'clock, so I'm a bit late this morning. Australian dollar, US dollar. The commercial ratio is short at 7.42 to 1, which is very, very large. We've seen a little bit of a pullback in the Australian dollar. It had some quite good figures last night, but it only managed, I mean, that is such a small candle, up candle there. It is just so small, 30 pips, under 30 pips. So we've come back up to the 50 on the RSI, just below actually 49 point something. I'm expecting this to follow on through short now. So that's where I stand on that. Australia has done quite well. The Reserve Bank of Australia has kept interest rates fairly high. They got quite a lot of cash in the bank, but they have huge borrowings that they've supported. A failing mining industry. So all commodities are sort of going lower in price, and they have borrowed huge amounts of money. And I just see this as a long-term short. This is the pound USD. As I said yesterday, I'm expecting this to follow through short. We've got below the 132 mark there. I'm expecting it to follow on through. I'm expecting it to go down to the 129, which is like weekly support. So we'll see how that goes. USD CAD. We had a quite a nice pullback yesterday, and I do see this as a buying opportunity if you're not already in it. So we've got a short position of 3.95 to 1 short by the commercials, and that's on the Canadian dollar. So it's short the Canadian dollar, long the US dollar, and we're just at the 50 at the moment on the RSI. I'm expecting to bounce back up. So I'll put a line in here. Bum, bum, bum. The oil price, as far as I'm concerned, is I can't see it going much higher. I got knocked out. The broker on with the contract expired last night. So sadly, I got knocked out of that. I'm a bit gutted, and don't think I'll be doing oil with this broker again. Euro USD. Again, we've had a statement from the Spanish government that they're going to talk to Catalonians, which is a bit of a backward step. So whatever happens with the talks, and whatever happens with the outcome, that there is nothing actually good for the Eurozone here. It's just bad news. It's like somebody else who wants to leave, and there are other countries that feel the same way. So really, how they deal with this actually could be quite significant. USD, Japanese yen. As I said before, I am expecting this to go a little bit higher. I think it didn't quite touch my blue resistance line there, but I'm expecting it to go up a little bit more before it comes down. We've seen this weakness as well, or strength for the pair, on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. So we have had a pullback on that. New Zealand, nice big red candle, commercial short ratio of 1.67. That is still going down. So that actually is a nice big candle. Let's just have a look how big that is. It's 120 pips. If anybody took that yesterday, well, great. As I say, it cut through my trend line. I called it short, and it delivered. Silver, we're bottoming out a little bit now. I'm expecting a bit more strength in the dollar towards the end of the month, and I do expect the silver price to fall down. It's taking a little bit of a rest. This is shut up.